Well, hello everybody. I hope everybody has had a fantastic week. Welcome to episode 15 of Psycho's Platters. I've decided to lob off the and a CD because it's pretty redundant if you think about it. Because a CD is a platter of aluminum, right? And records, of course, are vinyl platters, right? So guess what? As of now, it's christened Psycho's Platters. Well, let's go right into it here. I got a couple signed pieces we're going to start off with. This one from 1968. I'm going to do a show pretty soon about how to get music autographs. I think it could be pretty fun and interesting and educational. Maybe some of it might be redundant to some of you, but you know what? It doesn't hurt to talk about it. I may make that actually the next episode, I think. But for the moment, from 1968 on MGM, the Cowsills. You remember these guys, don't you? And if you don't, this is the band that originally, how do I explain this? They're the family that the Partridge Family TV show was modeled after. Okay? Mom and Dad, the Cowsills, Mr. and Mrs. Cowsill. The dad was a former military man. The mom, of course, was the older singer. How about that? Innocence, right? Yeah. Well, you know what? I got to tell you something. They actually had some decent hits. They originally started out, if I remember correctly, on Mercury. They cut a 45 or two for Mercury, but it just didn't go nowhere. And then MGM picked them up, and that's when they came up with the idea, actually originally for the television show, but they actually said no. The mom and dad said no on this one. This particular album, of course, Rainy Day, The Rain, The Park, and Other Things. Some people like to call it, I Love the Flower Girl. You know what I'm talking about. I love that song, though. So we're talking here Bill, Bob, Barry, John, and Mom Barbara from the Cowsills. Later on, of course, they would have Susan Cowsill, which is exactly kind of the lineup that I saw back in 2009, 2010. You'll have to forgive me. I don't have the ticket stub in front of my face. They reunited, or should I say at least the surviving members did. And in that case, that would have been Barry, let's see, Barry, John, Paul. I think there was a Paul, too. John, of course. It was kind of funny. John was the surprise in the whole concert. So, I know Susan was there, too. So it was four of them, okay, because, well, two died. One of them died in Hurricane Katrina. Not such a nice death on that one. And another male Cowsill both died as well between Hurricane Katrina and the 2009-2010 reunion. At that particular show, it was at the RFD Theater in Branson, Missouri, if you know where that's at. Even if you don't know where that's at, if you've got the RFD TV cable channel, that's where they shoot the shows out of, is over in Branson. So I brought this at the last minute and got it signed. Now, I know you can't kind of see exactly because you got the younger kids are there too. But it's the whole family. And what was kind of cool is they kind of pointed directional arrows as to who was who in this picture. Kind of neat, I think. But where I was going with this, John technically wasn't really in the Cowsills reunion at the time because he still was drumming for the Beach Boys, and I think he still is, too. He's been doing that since the mid-'80s, I want to say. I remember getting to see them in 2000 when they came to Walworth County Fair in Walworth, Wisconsin, or Elkhorn, Wisconsin, excuse me, and I know he was drumming for him back then. Well, it was kind of funny because the next day after this Cowsill show, the Beach Boys were scheduled to appear whatever county Springfield, Missouri was, because that's where the show was going to be at. And I'm like, you know, I told my son, Mike, I said, you know, this would be pretty dang cool. I wish I could stay an extra day to go catch the Beach Boys again, right? Well, they play the first half, and it's the 3 Cowsills, and right between intermission, because they decided to have intermission like 15 minutes, who happens to show up but John Cowsill along with Bruce Johnston from the Beach Boys, and I'm like, ah! And it was a half-packed house, okay, and they were like 3 rows behind me and my son, and I'm like, I took a look and I'm like, these guys look familiar. Why do they look familiar? And then they introduced them, and they came down. I'm like, oh, dear Lord. It was a fun second half of that show, because not only, of course, did they redo Rainy Park and Other Day Things because they weren't sure if John was going to make it, I guess, but they also decided to do some, a little bit of Beach Boys medley along with some other 60s surf-type songs, because I know they played, what was it? They played Little Honda. I thought that was kind of cool. GTO, a bunch of other ones. Really neat show. And my son and I, you know, we ended up getting some of the concert posters for that gig, right? And I told him, I said, hey, you know, let's go grab Bruce Johnston, because we found out that the Cowsills were going to stick around and sign afterwards. So we actually speedy walked to where Bruce Johnston was trying to escape. We were the only ones that ended up meeting him, because this big burly security guard pops up out of nowhere and blocks everybody else except me and my son. And I have a picture of me and Bruce Johnston on my Facebook site. Really nice guy. I got to tell you, really laid back and quiet, and he was very calm about everything too. So we got him to sign the poster, and then the rest of the Cowsills signed the poster too. So I know a little long-winded story on them, but I'm told that they may be going back out on the road again real soon. Go see them before another one of them passes, please. Now this autograph piece, this second autograph piece, was this one I really wish I could have said I met them in person, but unfortunately I didn't. But I got this one on eBay of a couple years back. Really sweet for the price. Sorry about the little shiny plastic. It's the Tubes, Young and Rich from 1976. Okay. It's signed all over the place here to a Irini. Go figure. It's kind of a strange name, but whatever works. This was signed in 1988, shortly before the Tubes decided to shut down, because I think they shut down in like 89. Okay, in late 89. But this one here is kind of cool for a couple reasons on A&M Records. Get any of the Tubes A&M output and you will not be disappointed. They really were ahead of their time. Very good art rock type theater group here. But mainly in this one here, yes, the Fee Waybill wasn't with them in 88. He went solo and did stuff with Richard Marx. Go figure, that's kind of strange. But I ended up getting on this particular album of importance, Prairie Prince. He originally was the original drummer of Journey, and he went back to the Tubes. Okay, and right down here, I know you can't see it really well, but is an autograph from the late, great Vince Welnick. Vince Welnick, of course, was the keyboard player for the Tubes all the way from its inception to the 1989 split. And then after that, guess what? Brent Mylan from the Grateful Dead died in 90, and the Dead tapped him on the shoulder and said, guess what? You're the one that's going to be our keyboardist. So he actually was keyboards from late 90 to when the Dead disbanded in 95. Vince Welnick unfortunately committed suicide. I want to say it was 2005, 2006, which was pretty sad, I thought anyway. So I like it though. I just wish I could meet Fee. And there's like one other band member that's not on this. The rest of the band signed it, so it was pretty sweet for a nice collectible. Heck, I'll give you a hint. It was under $20 I spent on that album, so pretty decent. Okay, old school. I'm from Chicago area. You know that. I snagged these for $1 a piece. This was a few years back, but I found them because I'm going to get them sent off to be signed, and I'll explain later when I do get them back. The Shadows of Night on Dunwich. I'll admit, not the best of shape, dog-eared a little bit. The vinyl, though, is really, really nice. You got this here from '66 with the back here, of course. This is on purple Dunwich. I mean, seriously, Fiji Plus at least on this. Jimmy Saunders, the lead singer, still singing under the Shadows of the Night banner. He's doing it, guys. I know he tours around the country. Go snag a show with him, please, before he's gone too. The ones that I know that are still alive, to my knowledge anyway, in this band, of course, Jimmy Saunders, Jerry McGeorge, really nice guy. This is the ones I'm going to send the albums to get signed. I'll explain that later. Tom Schiffer just moved to Israel earlier, I guess, in 2012, so be a little tough to get a complete reunion. Joe Kelly, as far as I know, he was in his own blues band, and I know that he was still touring at least until the early 2000s, but I've heard he's still alive too. The second album, Backdoor Men. Oh, this one is sweet too, I gotta tell you. This one here, pretty much the same lineup as the last album, except now you have the Hawk on organ and piano. It's really Hawk Walensky, really good keyboard player. He ended up, doing a bunch of stuff. Did some studio work with Chicago, though, in the late 70s. I want to say Street Player, Hot Streets, the stuff that, like late 70s, early 80s, but after Terry Kath died. But on here, Bad Little Woman, Gospel Zone. Oh, I love Gospel Zone. Their version of Spoonful. Here's the back. Oh, I love this stuff. And once again, on purple Dunwich. All right, so guess what? I went to a resale shop. Not sponsored by Krispy Kreme, but I wish it was. I went to a resale shop. Now, I got a bunch of record collecting friends, but the one who told me about this, a.k.a. Doug Fields, I'll call you out. You know it. He's a good guy, though. He goes off and he tells me late last week, he's like, well, Paul, you know what? There was about a shopping cart and a half full of albums. I'm like, what? I rarely ever go to this place, and I've learned my lesson. I'm going every week at least. And I guess there was a guy that beat him to the fines, right? And then he ended up finding a bunch of stuff. Well, you know what? I kind of like to call it my challenge that, okay, we can't call it sloppy seconds. I know that's kind of rude, because Doug got a hold of the sloppy seconds. Sorry, Doug, but in this case, it was the truth. So I don't know. What did I get? Tasty thirds? Tired thirds? I don't know. So here's the tired thirds that I found, because, hey, at least I did find some stuff. All of these were 50 cents a piece. Couldn't pass this up. Now, this first one here, kind of amusing. It's the Mitchell Trio. I know, forgive me, the wrap is shiny on this. It's still in the shrink. But it's the Mitchell Trio, and the album is called Alive. Now, why did I get this? Because I'm normally not into this kind of stuff. I don't know if you can recognize who the dude in the middle is. This is from 64, 65, roughly, on Reprise. It's John Denver. Yeah, it's John Denver before he got famous. This was actually his first, well, folky kind of gig. On this particular album, Leaving on a Jet Plane. Well, we all know that was popular with Peter, Paul, and Mary. They're the ones that first did this. But go figure. He actually does end up on here. He actually plays 12-string on this. I don't know any of the other people, but this was recorded live in Washington, D.C. and the University of Pennsylvania. So guess what, though? On the original multicolored Steamboat Reprise, mint, really nice condition. I wish John was still alive. I'd torture him and get him to sign it. Okay. You know what? Did you like Mop the Hoople like I liked Mop the Hoople? Now, I'm talking about later stuff because, unfortunately, this particular gentleman, even though he did side up with Ian Hunter, he was only on the last 45 Saturday gigs with Mop the Hoople. but he ended up going out on his own. Mick Ronson. Yes, I know. Look at this, mid-70s with that kind of thing here. Nice little back. Gatefold. Okay. On RCA Main Man. Main Man happened to be the same company, of course, that, well, David Bowie got signed to. And Ronson was actually, he's still saddled up with Ian Hunter, but he was also friends with David Bowie, too. Okay. Now, this particular one here, he does a bunch of different things. He does a bunch of covers. You've got Billy Porter, White Light, White Heat. Go figure, that's kind of strange. Girl Can't Help It, the old Little Richard stuff. He actually gets Ian Hunter in on that one. He sings background on that particular piece. And, of course, you're looking at old school orange RCA. Really nice condition on this one. I'm trying to think here. Any more hints here? Anybody else that we could pop up really quick? Let's see. We've got... I know Mick Ronson's all over the place, obviously, on here. Trevor Bolder. Okay, Trevor Bolder, who, of course, was in the Spiders from Mars with David Bowie. And what other band currently right now? Hint, hint. Uriah Heep. He's in Uriah Heep still. What else? Anybody else here famous? Or at least familiar? I ain't seen anybody else. Nope. Oh, no, wait a minute. Ainsley Dunbar. Ainsley Dunbar does drums for White Light, White Heat, and Ainsley's been everywhere. I mean, Jeff Beck, let's see, what else? Journey, White Snake, Starship, Jefferson Starship, excuse me. He's been all over the place. So you got a bunch of fun here mixed up. Like I said, not too shabby. Little trivia factoid, though, some people really don't know. Shortly after Ronson ended up cutting this album, he sided up with David Cassidy. You know, Mr. Partridge. And they actually cut an album that I really wish would get released. It's in the can. All right, here's another one everybody missed. Jeff Healey Band. Really? This was one of the best blues guitar players of the 80s and 90s. God rest his soul. He passed away, I think it was in 2011. On Arista. I know you can't see it. Gold stamp promo. I know, gold stamp promo. Also, though, get this, though. It says here, of course, from the forthcoming United Artists film Roadhouse, because he's in that. He does the cut Blue Jean Blues. Really nice. On the, okay, I'll show you really quick. Well, no, maybe I won't. But it's on the dark color Arista. One of my favorite 70s Southern rock bands out of Florida. A lot of them came out of Florida. Eye of the Storm from Outlaws. Oh, and you know what? They're back. Go see them. I'm not kidding you. There's only 2 original members left, though, because pretty much everybody else is dead on this one, except for Monty Yoho, the drummer, and Henry Paul, who used to be in what country rock band? Black Hawk. That's right. He used to be in Black Hawk. Maybe some of you people don't know this. This one, I don't blame that people passed up on, because you almost couldn't see who really did this. And you'll have to forgive me. I know that it's kind of blinding a little, isn't it, on the plastic? It is a cutout. Who cares? From 1977, the album Hope from the Canadian band Klaatu. Yes, if you Beatle fanatics remember, in 1976, Klaatu came out very mysterious. There was no writing credits, no performance credits, nothing. Okay? By the way, on Capitol Records, your red label Capitol, okay? But Klaatu Hope, I love the covers. I know you can't see this really well, but it's really nice. The first album, though, of Klaatu, it sold a lot because there was rumors going around, and Capitol Records, of course, fueled the rumors that it was the Beatles in disguise. Listen, there's some really good stuff on here. The main hit off of this, which the Carpenters ended up covering, Calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft. Oh, I love that song. I love Klaatu's version over Carpenters, though. And Subway. Soho Subway, I think? I don't know. I know Sarah Rosa's Subway? I don't know. I don't have the album in front of me. Hope, though, the second album, still was a partial charter, because what happened is that Klaatu was kind of sick and tired of the whole "Are we the Beatles? Are we the Beatles?" because they didn't tour behind that first album. So they finally let the cat out of the bag. That, guess what? It was 4 session musicians from Toronto. All right? And so Hope was charting and going up the charts, and then the news hit, and it went down the charts. Oops. Get 'em. Klaatu, Hope, Sir Army Suit. Okay? 76, 77, 78, and I want to say they did a 4th album in 80. All of them on Capitol Records. The Illusion on Steed. Now, I got to tell you, I got the first album. I didn't even know they made another album, okay? Threw me for a loop. Produced by Jeff Barry, okay? This is on Andy Kim's label as well. Jeff Barry, Andy Kim, why do they sound familiar? Of course, Andy Kim, Rock Me Gently. Jeff Barry, he's been around for a very long time, but most of you people may know that he had Monkey involvement. He did some production and stuff and did some tunes for the Monkees. Here's one I didn't even know existed. How about this? Pardon the shrink wrap. I know it's a little bit blinding. Eric Burdon on GNP Crescendo from 1988. Called Wicked Man, and I love it. In the corner here it says, "Warning, one track contains explicit language." Yes, that's right. Nobody here familiar as far as for playing backup. I guess where I got this from, it's kind of funny because it originally was in Memphis Music for a price tag of $16.98. I don't know if I would have spent that, but who knows. Michael Stanley Band out of Ohio. Good stuff. This is MSB North Coast. They shortened it up to MSB instead of Michael Stanley Band. But you know what? I wish they'd get back together. I know they do from time to time. You like the Moody's like I like the Moody's? Well, I like to snag some of the side albums too. Justin Hayward, John Lodge, Blue Jays was the name of this album. And of course, if you like the Moody covers like I do, this one's kind of cool. It is on Threshold. It's a gatefold. And look, there you are. There's both of them. Very clean condition. They pretty much do all the stuff on here. There's not even anybody else really credited unless it's an orchestra. Okay? So they pretty much did this as well. Here's the back cover for this sucker. Very beautiful. I love the Moody's. Why are they not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? You bastards! You Rock and Roll Hall, it should be Rock and Roll Hall of Shame. And while I'm broadcasting here today, it is Paul Revere's 75th birthday. Paul Revere and the Raiders. Why aren't they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too? Come on, they put a great bunch of hits. They were one of the prototype elements of garage rock. Come on. They did a decent version of Louie Louie. Okay, fine. Richard Berry was the original, and he did a damn good version too, along with the Kingsmen. Come on, Kicks, Steppin' Out, Him or Me, Cinderella's Sunshine. If you've never heard that, go listen to it. I love it. It's garage stuff. Kicks. Oh, makes me rip my hair out. Why aren't they in? All right, that's all my albums. But guess what? I'm going to throw another CD recommendation for you, okay? I won this off the radio station last week. Oh, I won this double CD DVD deluxe set of Celebration Day from Zepp. Oh, I love it. If you are a Zeppelin fan like I am, buy this. I'm not kidding you. Get the double CD DVD. Do not just get the CDs. You are missing half the picture if you do not get this. This is from the December 2007 O2 London reunion gig with Jason Bonham on drums, which I have his autograph. I'll show that someday too. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Looky, looky, you got all of them in their prime. Look, I'm going to tell you guys something. Robert's the holdout on this. One more album, one more tour. Zepp. Page and Jones want to do it, and Bonham too. Come on, Robert. I wish Robert was listening to this. I know he doesn't know of my existence. That was supposed to be my first concert back in '80. I know it's not our fault that John Bonham died from all the alcohol. But damn it, I want one more Zeppelin album and tour. Is that a lot to ask? Because I know you guys are getting old. You know? And if Mick is almost 70 and can rock and roll, you guys can do one more album and tour. All right. I'm almost done here. I know I'm a little long-winded today, and I apologize. I'm catching up on a lot of stuff. So, I want to throw a couple particular links to you. Okay? Recommendations. YouTube. Go, if you haven't subscribed, okay, to T-Mech 1959. That is my buddy Tim Smith. Go check out his record vinyl community collecting blog on Facebook, too. I know you have to do a little searching for that, but he's there. Also, Crate Junkies. That's with a Z at the end, not an S. I gotta tell you, the guy's out of Pennsylvania, the stuff he finds. I'm envious of you, Mr. Crate Junkies. I'm envious. And he's young. And you know what? He loves to learn just as much as everybody does. I'm 46 and I'm still learning stuff. Okay? That's your two YouTube things. How about this one? If you haven't done this yet, you are doing yourself an injustice. You got nothing to do on Sunday nights? You already went to church, hopefully, or at least did something positive with your spirit. Go off and give yourself some ear candy. Go off and subscribe on Facebook to the Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark. He's on Central Standard Time 6 to 9 p.m., Eastern 7 to 10, out of Syracuse, New York. It's Ronnie, the Commander, John, and whoever the heck else is in there. You missed the Prague special. You might have missed it. Coming up, I know there's going to be a Dunhill Records perspective, an interview with one of my faves who I have met, Ray Graffia from New Colony 6, is another one. The Beatles, they're going to do an anthology thing, and I also begged them to do a Monkey special in February due to Davy Jones's almost 1-year death. Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark. Listen, subscribe on Facebook. Get it! I'm telling you, you're not gonna miss. You got to get this ear candy for yourself. Because I gotta tell you, they play a lot of things that even this old man hasn't ever heard. You guys, I salute you. You guys do it justice. Now, I want to tell you about a couple music magazines. Classic Rock out of England. This is the newest one. Get this. Okay, this is required monthly reading. You get CD samplers too. So you get to read, get eye candy, and ear candy. Also, new one that I tripped on 3 months ago. This is the newest episode of Shindig magazine. Look who's on the cover, the Rolling Stones. They're talking about Satanic Majesty's Request. One of the, well, okay, fine. It was the Stones' misstep, but there's some interesting things on it. Shindig magazine and Classic Rock magazine, Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark, Crate Junkies, YouTube, along with Tim Smith at T-Mech 1959, and Putsi, P-U-D-S-I, out of England. Watch them, listen, read, snag them all. I want more subscribers, kids. Spread the word. Want more views and subscribers. I love all of you. Let's do this. Okay? Now, until then, until next week or whatever, keep finding, keep listening, keep spreading the joy and love of music. Because you know what? It's a new year, 2013 is. Let's spread it and do it wisely, guys. Take care. God bless. Keep rocking till next week. It's almost a 30-minute episode. Like meals, just eat it in blocks. Take care, guys. I love you all. Bye.